All right. So this is the homework. Yesterday, I believe we did 1, 2, and 3 together. And you had to finish the rest by yourself.
Yep. 4 to 10.
But yes. And one more. Just answers. Now you have the answer keys right there, right? Let's go in order. Right here, I have Vasquez, then Miguel, Marco, Michelle, and Anna. 1, 1, 1, 1. Everybody reads one sentence to me, okay? Vasquez, you begin with number 1.
Okay, number 1?
Yeah.
We do the number 1 yesterday?
Yes.
Okay. John? The answer, only the answer.
You can read it and then give me the answer.
Okay. John had never been to such a fantastic restaurant. Never had John been to such a fantastic restaurant.
He's missing the hat.
John Bean. Never had John been to such. Yes.
Yes, it's good right there, right? No.
Yes.
Erica, that's the person we were missing. Erica. She's here.
Erica.
Never had John been to such a fantastic restaurant. Oh, okay, I wrote fantastic.
Okay. It's my turn, right?
Yes, sir.
I in no way want to be associated with this project. In no way do I want to be associated with this project.
Excellent, sir. Next. Anna, number 3.
Yes, it's number 3.
Yeah.
Okay. No sooner had they eaten dinner than the ceiling crashed onto the dining, onto the
dining table.
Yes, onto the dining table. So this is 3, 4, 2.
Oh, just 3. Give me the answer.
Okay. Never. Okay, so number 3 is no sooner had they eaten dinner than the ceiling crashed onto the dining table. Oh, it's onto the dining table.
Yes. No sooner had they eaten dinner than the ceiling crashed into the dining table. I want you to understand that no sooner than means suddenly after. Okay? Suddenly after. So, you know, they started eating dinner and suddenly the ceiling crashed into the dining table. Okay? So for example, if I say no sooner had they eaten dinner when the earthquake happened, boom, 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 boom. So they started eating dinner and a few seconds passed by and then the earthquake happens.
Okay.
Okay. Number 4. See number 4, Marco?
Yep. So number 4, I had scarcely finished writing my essay when the examiner announced the end of the exam. So my possible answer is, scarcely had I finished writing my essay when the examiner announced the end of the exam. Scarcely had I finished writing my essay. Is that? Essay teacher.
Essay.
Yep.
Essay. Oh my gosh. Right.
I was
Excellent.
I was watching last night some videos, and you need only to follow the rules. It's a little complicated at the I don't know the main, but then you need to practice, and somebody told me one day, when you can speak and write in English, you can speak very well in Spanish, and it happened. I don't know why.
So, hold on. I didn't understand the last part. What do you mean by that?
Somebody told me one day, when you are learning English, you can speak and write everything in Spanish well. I don't know why.
Okay, okay. So basically, the more English you know, the more Spanish you know. Yeah.
I don't know why, maybe sometimes in Spanish, um, we say some words, but we are wrong. And when you are learning in English, you say, so I need to say this in that way in Spanish or English or what's going on? No, maybe, you know what? Sometimes we are wrong in Spanish. So the real topic is when you are learning in English, you can learn better. And then you can speak better Spanish. I don't know why, but this weird.
Yeah, I think it's because we pay so much attention to the structure in English, and,
Yeah,
and we
maybe.
try to compare it to Spanish, and we learn the structure in Spanish.
Maybe.
Maybe that's why. But that's cool. Maybe that makes a lot of sense. You know, usually the people who have a hard time learning English are people who are very bad in Spanish.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Mhm.
I've had some students who didn't finish elementary school,
Mhm.
so they don't know how to write very well.
Mhm.
They say, for example, por qué, they write X, Q,
Uh,
Uh,
and
oh, you write all
¿qué
together.
quieres? ¿Qué
Huh?
quieres? Oh my gosh. And, sometimes it's okay, but I realize that's really how they think it goes. That's really how they think that it's spelled. And when they try to write in English, it doesn't make sense. Just like when they try to write in Spanish, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a really good advantage if you know your native language really well.
Yes.
And that's how I learned Spanish because I knew English really well.
mhm.
All right. Anyways, I seldom leave my house so early. Michelle?
Seldom do I leave my house so early.
Right. Next, Erica Kane, number 6.
Leave, teacher. So let's correct the word leave.
Uh-oh. Erica, are you there?
Yes, teacher, I'm here. Next,
Um, yeah, number 6.
rarely do people appreciate this musician's talent.
Excellent. Number 7. Back to Anna.
Yes. Only later would we understand we would we okay. Only later would we understand what had happened that night. Only that's all. That's all.
Only later
But
will we understand what happened.
That one is a little tricky, right?
yeah.
Oh.
Oops.
Somebody's trying to hack us.
What's happening?
We yeah.
What happened that night?
That night.
Sorry, I don't know. Somebody came into the computer and tried to hack us. Let's see, Miguel. 8.
Yes. Nowhere had they met such rude people before.
Nowhere had they met such rude people before.
What before should be after nowhere?
7, the 7, that's okay?
It's okay? Okay.
Nowhere before had they met such rude people. Or nowhere had they met such rude people before. Both are okay. You said number 7. Only later would we understand that what had happened that night. Yeah, number 7 is okay.
Only later would be, or only later be would. I have no.
Remember, we put the auxiliary first and then the subject.
So first,
So it's correct right there.
Yes. Okay.
That's why we call it the inversion. You know, we change that. And Miguel, number 9.
Yes, sir. 9, right? Little did he understand about the situation.
Did.
Little did.
Did.
Why is in past and not in present? I don't understand that thing.
For the verb understood. Yeah.
Oh yes, I understand and it's understood, yes.
For the verb understood.
All right, all right. Cool, cool. And Romo.
Yes.
10.
Okay. On no account should the children go on their own.
Oh my gosh, the ice cream, man. I want ice cream. All right, so yes, that is true right here. Everything is good here. Do you have any questions?
I have one doubt.
Yes.
In number 8, can you say nowhere before had they met such rude people? Is it bad? Incorrect? Is it wrong? If you say nowhere before had they met.
Nowhere before had they met. It sounds correct, you know.
Yes.
I've never heard it used that way, but you know, having grown up in the US, that actually sounds correct. Nowhere before sounds correct. But usually before goes at the end of the sentence. Yeah.
Can we go with you to Acapulco to drink some beer together?
Yeah, that'd be fine, man. I need it. We can go to La Roqueta. Do you know about La Roqueta?
No, I never heard about that.
La Roqueta is
Yes.
a little island.
I know the Roqueta.
La Roqueta is an island in Acapulco.
An island.
You take a boat to get to La Roqueta, and there are many beaches in La Roqueta. There's private beaches, hidden beaches, stuff like that. So it's like a forest, you know. It's just an island, and there are like 3 restaurants, very small restaurants, but the island is big, man. Some people go over there, they go camping, they go swimming, they go fishing, jet skiing. Beautiful. The water, you can be to your neck and you can still see your feet. So it's like really crystal clear water.
That means that place is expensive,
Like
right?
Cancun?
It's a beautiful place.
The place is what?
It's like Cancun?
Cancun is more beautiful, but it's still very beautiful.
Yes, but you can see your feet too.
Yeah, you can see. See, the difference is Cancun has like the blue, clear water.
Yes.
Over here it's like turquoise, you know, greenish, bluish.
Yes.
How much do we need for that party?
For the party, to get on the boat, it's 70 pesos for a round trip, so it's cheap. And well, we can just take a cooler and our snacks, or if you want to buy food at the restaurants, you can, but I don't recommend it. It's really expensive. I remember the last time I went, I bought some French fries, like this many French fries, 120 pesos for French fries.
Wow.
I was like, what? But I was hungry. I was like, no, I need it. It was the cheapest thing on the menu.
That's happened because you are speaking in English.
Oh, man, that's the price on the menu.
You know. And say, oh, you're American. You need to spend more money.
Yeah, actually,
And
I
in
know
dollars.
that strategy, you know.
Yeah.
If I go with my friends or with family, I say, tú háblale, porque escucha el acento. He's going to hear my accent, so you talk to him. And then, yeah, when they talk to them, it's better, because if I talk to them, you're correct. They're going to hear the accent. They want to take advantage. Sometimes like, wait, yo vivo aquí en el centro. and then they listen. And oh, okay. I show them my IFE.
That's real, yes or no?
Yes.
Let me tell you, if you visit Cancun, you can use the cars from the, how do you say, the restaurants or places. Like if you are working there, they give us a less price for everything. When I visit
really?
2 years ago, Cancun, in Playa del Carmen, I print a fake ID and, and I use that trick for less price in trips and tours and everything.
So basically, if you're a resident, it's cheaper.
Yes, like 2 years ago, I was working there, so I have my own ID. But the last year I visit with my friends, I make fake IDs for them, and we go together and say, hey, we are working here. But nobody pay attention in that, so you can earn
You can use
more
it.
things. Yes,
Don't worry. Don't worry. In USA, the same thing. The social security and ID, everything is fake. You know the same.
So Michelle, that works in restaurants, like or in all the places.
Actually, we use it for the boat, the ship, from Playa to Cozumel. Because if you are as a tourist, you pay 300 pesos, but we pay only 60 pesos for that.
Too much.
Very big discount.
Fancy.
Also, if in a normal week, Coco Bongo give you enters for Coco Bongo free. If you are living there or working there, they give you the enter.
It's
Totally
like a
free.
club, right? It's like a club.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh! Wow! Thank you for that strategy. I'm gonna find a way to do that. All right. Well, guys, do you have any questions regarding these inversions?
No.
No.
It's pretty clear, right? Adverb, auxiliary, subject, verb.
Can we be really sure and confident with that? Because all the thing that we have to use is inside the sentence, right? We don't have to add anything else. Or we
Exactly.
have.
Only the auxiliary in present or past.
You and us.
Yes. That's the only thing you would have to add, like Michelle said, the auxiliary in the present or in the simple past. Yes. But everything else, it should have it in the sentence. Now, look, let me tell you about some things that you will probably see on the exam.
Okay.
Okay.
On the exam, it's going to be something like this. Let's say number 35 or 34. Choose the correct answer. And it's gonna have one. On the exam, it's gonna have the sentences like this. They're all going to look almost the same, almost identical, but one word will make all the difference.
One.
Yes.
The one that's correct?
Yeah, in this case, yeah, one is correct. And it will also have, you know, confusing ones like this. Choose the correct answer. All right.
So multiple choice answers.
Are we going to have the next week the exam?
Yeah. Well, the sample.
Okay.
It's not the real.
We're gonna have 2 sample tests.
Wow. Oh, it's good. And what about the other skills? And we're going to, when we practice them?
The other skills, we're going to practice them next week.
Before
Okay.
the exam.
Yeah. We're going to practice. Well, the reading is not much, you know, you can't practice the reading a lot. I'm just going to give you some tips. You know, the reading is something that, you know, that takes a long time to perfect.
Yes.
But what you can do, like, but there are some small immediate changes that you can do or make so that you can get better results on any proficiency tests. You know, some immediate changes, I can give you those immediate changes, tips. I can give you those tips.
Yes, some tips.
Okay, you know, to become a great reader, you really need to just read a lot, you know. Whether that be articles on the internet, on Facebook, Facebook status, Twitter, you know, tweets, Instagram posts, or actual books. You know, that's the only way that you're going to become a better reader is if you read more. But let's say that you don't read books, and it's going to be a little difficult, right? Because the comprehension is a bit difficult. But like I said, we're going to have some things that you can do like immediately before the test, so you can have so you'll be more likely to have a better result.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And the writing, well, on the writing, I don't know how, or I don't know how it works, but the director somehow has the writing that you will use for the writing portion of the real test. You know, on the test, you need to write an essay that's 250 words, right? But next week, you're going to do it for homework, okay? You're going to do it for homework. And
like essay, teacher?
Yeah, an essay, exactly. It's going to be an essay. And I'm going to check it, you know, 1 time, 2 times, maybe 3 times. And that same essay, already perfected, is the same essay you're going to write on the real San Diego test.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like a cheat code, according to the director. It's like a cheat code.
And
I
what
don't know how that happens, but that's the truth. You know, we have the writing part of the San Diego sample test.
yes.
As for the listening, well, I can give you some tips for the listening too, because like I said, for the listening, it's not something you can fix in 1 week. It takes a few weeks or a few months.
But what we writing? What we need to write about what?
What topics?
I will tell you next week.
Ah, okay.
Yes, but
Sorry.
it's gonna be a letter. It's gonna be a letter.
Mm,
Ah, okay.
A formal
To
letter.
someone
Formal
or
letter.
to
Okay.
formal letter.
Yes,
a
it's gonna be
letter
a
to
formal
someone?
letter to someone.
Okay.
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 All right.
Very good.
Now you know. I guess I can say that we are finished with the hard things.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, we are finished with the hard things. You know, the grammar we're about to see today and on Monday, it's like easy stuff. Yeah, it's pretty easy stuff. So let's begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Okay. Please get a notebook and a piece of paper.
Okay.
Class started at 6. It's only 6:30. Okay. We have a lot of time. Great. Thought it was later. All right. English grammar in use. We are going to look at how to give advice and suggestions. Okay. And by the way, I'm going to send this to you at the end. Okay. I'm going to send it to you in the group.
Okay.
How to give advice, how to give suggestions. Everybody here has a pretty decent level of English or a good level of English. And everybody knows the definition or how to use should, right?
Yes.
Yes.
You know, well, I'm going to Acapulco. Oh, okay. You should take sunscreen,
Sunscreen. Yes.
right? You should take sunscreen.
Because the sunburns.
Yeah, the sun's crazy over here, right? You should take change for, well, you should take change to buy things on the beach. Because sometimes there are some cool things on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Souvenirs.
Like
Yes.
quesadillas.
Mm.
Love the quesadillas. All right. And so all of you know that today is July 16th, 2020. The objective for today is to give advice and suggestions using should, ought to, and had better. All right. That is one of the objectives. And the other objective is, if we have time, we're going to
Must. Are we not going to say must? Because it's an obligation to teacher.
must.
Must.
Must is not
Must.
for an advice or suggestions.
No.
It's an order.
Yes,
Yes.
And we're going, well, there are many ways to give advice, you know.
You can give
You
advice.
should, could, it's a good idea to, why don't you? There are many ways, but the one that we are going to focus on today is a little more advanced, and it's ought to or oughta and had better. Oughta, ought to.
Yes.
Can I
We're
use
going
supposed to? Supposed to? Or
Oh,
supposed?
that's something else. Prefer, would prefer, and would rather
You'd rather.
to talk about preferences. So those are the two things that we are doing today. All right. We're going to give advice and suggestions using should, ought to, and had better. And we're going to use prefer,
Would you prefer?
would prefer, and would rather to talk about preferences. All right. And on the San Diego test, there's going to be approximately 4 or 5 questions with this grammar that we're going to learn today. Those 4 or 5 points can make the difference between B2, B1, B2, and C1. Okay?
Yes.
So let's begin with what we have. Modals of suggestion and advice. Vasquez, can you read what it says, please?
Who?
Vasquez, Romo.
Sorry. Introduction? Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
These 3 verbs are modal verbs. Should, ought to, had better. Modal verbs are helping auxiliary verbs that express ideas like ability, advice, and obligation. Many modal verbs have more than one meaning. They are always followed by the simple form of the verb. For example, Amanda should go to the doctor. This shows that we think it is a good idea for Amanda to visit the doctor. That's right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's learn how to give advice. English speakers use the modal verb should, ought to, and had better to express that they think something is good or bad idea. Should is the most common way to give advice.
Should is the most common way to give advice. So true, so true. All right. Now, well, like I said, everybody knows should. We can use it in affirmative sentences, negative sentences, and questions. For example, I failed my test. Really? You should study harder. Well, that's bad advice. That sucks. If you gave me that advice, I would be mad at you. It's too late. Anyways, you shouldn't watch violent TV shows. Young children shouldn't watch violent TV shows.
Yes.
And then question, I have a problem. Should I call my parents or my friend? Okay, everybody knows that. Has anybody here heard of ought to or oughta?
We can use both, should or ought to. That's for the same idea or suggestion.
I heard about ought to, but it was about regret, not giving advice.
Regrets.
Yeah, in the past, in another course, I learned about ought to, but it was about regret. They told me that it was for regret.
I think, teacher, American people use more should, and British people ought to. That's what I hear.
Maybe the British.
It's more common. It's more common in Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more common in the UK, definitely.
Normally, American people say you should do this. Hey, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. You know, normally or basically all the time they are using a should. That's That's, I don't know. I was working with the Manchester guys when I was living in USA. So sometimes I'm here, and sometimes I am asking them, "Are you from to Paris?" No, but it's the British accent, you know, to achtu, achtu. But this it's weird, but that's true, man.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
For me, it's more common to hear had better slow, had better not forget, had better. I don't know, but when I visit USA, I hear most common had better. I visit Boston,
Ah, okay, okay. Yeah, in
and the
Boston they
people
talk a
say
little
had
more
better
like,
slow, had better
okay,
don't forget, had better
okay, okay.
more
Well,
polite. Sounds more polite.
that's true. That's true. Well, no, not really.
Oh,
But I'm about to explain everything. Just
okay.
listen and read. It's really cold outside. You ought to wear a warm jacket. You ought to wear a warm jacket. Oughta is rarely used in the negative form. Okay, you you oughta well you ought not to watch TV before finishing your homework. You ought to not watch TV before finishing your homework. And I've never in my life heard ought to used in negative form. Never, ever, ever, ever. And I've definitely never heard it used as a question. Here they don't even mention it as a question. Ought to is not common in question form. Okay, you had better slow down. You are driving too fast. You had better not forget to pay your tuition. If you do, the university will kick you out. And again, had better is not usually used in question form. And in the exam, it's not going to have it in question form, don't worry. There is a difference in the negative form as well. You can make a contraction only with the verb should, not with the other two. See the examples below. You should not put hot water on a burn. You ought not to put hot water on a burn. You better not put hot water on a bone. Okay? So only with should can you use a contraction.
Only
Only
because
with should can you
maybe
use a
because
contraction.
only because the ought to and had better are more formal. Maybe.
That could be it. That could be it. Okay. And also note the position of the word not in the negative sentence below. The word not goes after should and had better, but in the middle of ought to, ought not to. Okay? Well, no, like I said, it's not going to be very common for you to ever hear the negative form of ought. But just so you know, you separate ought to, ought not to. Okay, and put not in the middle. Okay, next one. Marco, can you read it, please?
These examples had the same basic advice message, but had better speed stronger. It includes the idea of wearing. Something bad will happen if you don't follow my advice. For example, you had better not forget to pay your, I don't know that word, tuition?
Tuition.
Tuition? Okay, tuition. If you forget, the university will kick you out. Okay, you had better do your homework. If you do not do your homework, the teacher will give you a low mark. Now,
Okay.
you had better
Hold on,
can
stop
be
right there,
contract.
please.
Oh, okay.
Remember, had better is a bit stronger. It includes the idea of a warning. That means something bad will happen. And that's why had better is not good to give advice unless there is a consequence. Okay? For example, if I go to the beach, I'd better take sunscreen because the consequence is that I'm going to burn my skin. If I don't, there's a consequence. Something bad will happen. Okay? But if I say, oh, you should take beer. Okay, that's good. It's like a neutral suggestion. You should take beer.
Yeah.
But if I say, you'd better take beer, I'm an alcoholic, I need the beer. Bring the beer. If you don't bring the beer, I will be angry, I will hit you,
Oh,
and things will be bad. Okay, so remember, had better is a little more stronger,
mhm.
and something bad will happen, usually.
Nothing bad would happen. Yes.
Marco, can you continue, please?
Yep. Note, you had better can be contracted to become you'd better. This is correct grammar and very common in speaking. Some native speakers say you better, but this is incorrect. The had is necessary in good grammar.
Exactly. And what they say is correct, you know. And I when I'm speaking, I don't say you better. I say you better. I don't add a th. Um, in speaking, well, you know, if you know people who speak English, you know that we are a bit lazy when we speak. You know, we don't really enunciate all of the sounds in a word and things like that. That's probably why. But remember, correctly, it's always with had, and it can be contracted. In fact, it's more common in contracted form. All right.
Basically, the speakers all the time are speaking in contracting way. You know, I gotta go. You know, it's like, do you want to go home? It's like, hey, you go home. That in Mexico is the same. You know, te vas a tu casa.
Yes.
Tu adiós, ya, adiós, vas a tu casa. The same, but a different language. You know.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
That's more common.
Erica, can you read the next ones, please?
Yes. In the above examples, you can see that the modals are followed by the simple form of an a verb in the present patterns. Examples: you should study harder. Run, run. You had better slowing down. Run. She ought to drink more water. Run. Then what is the correct?
Teacher, is it the correct answer?
You need to see the verb. You don't need to put to. Or yeah.
All right, well, that's an easy fix. That's easy. Let's see. Let's fix it. Number one, you should to study harder. What is wrong here?
2.
2 and 3.
2.
Two.
Yes.
You should study only.
Yes, and that's a big problem I have with my students. You should too. You can too.
No,
After modal verbs, never put to.
exactly, because our auxiliaries.
Exactly. All right, and you had better slowing down. What is the problem there?
ing.
Down.
Slow.
ING.
You had better slow
Slow down.
Finish.
because it's a simple verb.
Yes.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And what about the next one? You ought to drink more water.
You better slow.
2.
Yeah,
To drink.
unnecessary
To drink.
to
Drink.
Yes.
ought to drink more water.
Now there is the rule. Remember that activity is modal verb and it's followed by a simple verb. To, it's not an infinitive to.
Yes, yes.
That's what we are talking about.
Remember that oughta is a modal and is followed by a simple verb. To is not an infinitive to. All right. Next. Modal plus subject plus basic verb. Should I call my parents or my friend? And WH information questions can also be formed by putting the WH question word immediately before the modal. What should I do about my problem? Where should we have dinner tonight? Why should you believe them? When should they call their boss?
Where should we be? Why should you believe?
All right, Michelle, can you read the next ones, please?
Yes. Some.
Michelle?
Okay. Yes. Yes. I'm here. Would you like that I read from the top or summarize?
Summary.
Okay. Summary. Should, my opinion, you should finish your homework before you go out. The builders should have finished by the end of the week. Should, in WH question. Who should I pass the message to? What should I do if I have any problems? Should, giving advice to myself. I should read to a script on the rain tomorrow, but I know that I'll be too tired. I should wash my hair tonight. I haven't washed it for a week.
And the next one, Miguel.
Ought to.
Had better.
Had better or ought to? Ought to is obligation. You ought to finish your homework before you go out. It is your obligation. The builders ought to have finished by the end of the week. It is their obligation, contract limit. Had better, urgency, demand, and threat, worry. There's someone moving about downstairs. We had better call the police quickly. We had better not be late again or he'll be in trouble. Damn, it is pouring down. We had better get a taxi or we'll get soaked. Practice. Shall I continue or what?
Right here, you're going to take some time and do it by yourself. I will help you with number one. Okay, you can just, write the word like number one, should, number two, ought to, etc., etc. So you don't write the complete sentence because I'm going to send you this paper later.
Okay.
Right. So number one, exercise one, complete each sentence with an appropriate modal. My teacher told me that I out my notes every day. I guess it's a good idea to look at them after class. Should right there. Should because it's her opinion, right? And it's not. There's no consequence or anything.
Advice.
It's not an obligation. It's just a good idea,
Okay.
right? Well, you have 3 minutes. Please complete this activity. I'm going to go to the restroom.
We had
Yeah,
that
that's good.
party, bears, cakes, everything. Where are you?
You'd better be here, teacher.
All right. Well,
We are a team.
let's check out what you guys have.
Uh-huh.
What do you have for number two?
Ooh.
Ought to.
Up to?
Anyone?
No, number two.
Yes, but
One by one, okay? I want to start
Okay.
number two. Do you think Carol ought to save her money or spend? She's planning to go to Europe this summer.
The answer is should.
Should?
oh,
Yes.
sorry.
I told
Usually
you.
with think you use should.
Okay. Think should.
Yes, usually with think you use should.
Okay.
It's an opinion. It's an opinion.
Yes, yes. So right there it says, do you think Carol should? And it's not an obligation or anything like that, It's just a question like to get somebody's opinion, no?
Okay.
And number three?
Number 3 is should.
Oh,
And a suggestion, an opinion. No?
hold on. I gotta close. I don't know what happened. Sorry, I'm going to the party tonight. What?
What
Should.
should I wear?
What should I wear? Yes.
Should I wear?
Yes. What should I?
Right. Number 4.
Had better?
Had better.
I will cut better.
Gas, because there will be a big concert.
Yes. Exactly. Number 5. If you are worried about getting fat, you
Shouldn't
Shouldn't
eat a McDonald's every day.
every day.
okay.
You had better.
You shouldn't eat at McDonald's every day. You had better eat.
Yes,
You better eat. Right. Number 6 is really raining outside right now.
I shouldn't forget.
I shouldn't forget my umbrella or I get wet.
I shouldn't forget my umbrella or I'll get wet. No.
I better forget my umbrella.
Yes. I had better not. I had better not forget my umbrella because you will be consequences. You'll get wet.
I had better not.
Okay. 3. I'm sorry, not 3. 7.
And 7.
Should.
Where should we have lunch?
Where should we have lunch? Excellent. 8.
My doctor feels that.
My doctor feels that I had better exercise more. Mouth of shape and want to lose weight.
Exercise more because I know a shit.
I know should
lost weight. I think he's right.
Okay.
My doctor feels that I ought to exercise more because I'm out of shape and I want to lose weight. Remember, ought to is kind of like an obligation, you know.
Okay.
3 mistakes, guys. But don't forget we are trying.
Yes, very good, very good. All right. Now, on a piece of paper, you're going to write suggestions for these questions. Write sentences to give advice. Use the verb and the information in parentheses. What should I do if a person's heart stops beating? You should do CPR.
You should do CPR.
Okay, it's easy, right? All right. Or since it is kind of like a bad consequence if you don't do it.
Yes, he will die.
You'd better
do
CPR.
Yeah.
Right? I think that one would be better, but both are correct.
Yes, I think.
All right. Well, let's see. Take about 3 minutes to do this one, okay? Remember to think about whether it's a opinion, obligation, or if there's a consequence, all right? Let's see. Take 3 minutes, guys. It is 7:08. We will check it at 7:11. All right, guys, let's get this over with. Number 2, what should I do if someone is bleeding a lot?
Had better. You had better. Because the consequences.
Because there will be consequences.
Yeah. You should.
Yes.
You should.
Better apply a bandage and put pressure
The joint.
on the wound.
And put pressure on the
Put pressure on the wound.
wound.
All right, great, great. And number 3, what should I do if someone has a sprain?
O2, because it's not that bad. It's just like a torcedura.
Yeah,
Avoid.
sprain.
You ought to
Put ice and a bandage on the joint. Okay. Number 4.
Mhm.
Number 4, what should I do if someone is choking and can't breathe?
Had better, because that one is, it depends on a life.
Yes, you'd better do
better. You had better,
abdominal.
you had better not, right?
Yes.
Oh, you better do abdominal thrusts. Is when you grab the person and you squeeze them,
Ah, okay.
right? Number 5, what should I do if someone has a bee sting?
You call 911. Be emergencies. Emergencies.
What?
Emergencies. Be.
Images.
Or
You
just-
should remove the stinger. Okay?
You
Okay.
think so?
What do you think?
Maybe he can feel dizzy, something like that. You know, if you remove the stinger.
Really?
I don't know, but that's my theory. That's what I think. You know.
No way, man. It's not that bad unless the person is
Maybe you
allergic.
can feel later out. Dizzy, you know.
Okay.
Correct.
What should I do if someone goes into shock?
Shit. Smack that.
Like the victim of this time.
Had better.
You had better.
Had better
Had better what?
Exhale. Inhale and exhale.
You had better lay
Hey, the victim.
the victim on his back and elevate his legs.
Yes.
Okay. You better lay the victim. Sorry for putting C.
Victim.
So let's change the word victim.
Yes, yes. All right, you better lay the victim on his back and elevate his legs. Now, what about exercise 3? Find the errors in the sentences. Write the correct sentences only.
Yes,
It out.
yes, we did it.
All right, tell me, what is he ought to take him to the emergency room?
Take him.
2. Yeah.
It's missing 2.
Mm-hmm.
He ought to take him to the emergency room.
Yes,
Missing 2.
he ought to
Yes.
take him to the emergency room. Excellent. Number 2, you should to help people.
Okay, so you should help people without to.
It's in vice versa
Without
way.
to.
Yes.
Exactly. He has better do CPR.
He had instead of has.
Had.
Yes,
Very
change has for had. He had better.
He had better do CPR. Excellent. They ought to not hurt his legs.
They ought not to hurt his leg.
Very good.
Not to.
And number 5, I had better put hot water on the burn.
I had better not put his hot water on the burn.
I had better not put hot water on the burn.
I had better not.
He had better
Okay.
not.
All right. Very good. Oh man, it's 7:21. I don't think we're gonna have time for the next thing.
8 more minutes.
Yes. I don't think we're gonna have time for the next thing. So let's talk about this a little bit more. Do you have any questions with this to begin with?
No.
Or it's easy? It's easy? Yes?
I think that is question just to analyze what about what is if it's an advice or if it has consequences.
Exactly. Right. Well, this might be one of the most important things. Had better is for urgency, demand, threat, worry. Ought to application. Should is giving advice to myself. All right, guys. Well, maybe we're gonna end the class a little early today, but let me tell you a little bit about what we're going to do next week.
Oh, yes.
So on Monday and Tuesday, we're gonna do a little bit more grammar. You know, the last little grammar topics that we're gonna use, and then on
Tuesday.
on what you call it, on Wednesday, we're gonna do some reading, and then on Thursday, writing. Okay, and then on Monday we're gonna correct the writing. All right, and we're probably and then you're probably going to do the sample test for homework. Okay,
Oh, good.
and then on Tuesday we're gonna check the sample test and correct it. Wednesday also correct it, and then Thursday we're gonna perfect everything and clear any doubts, and yeah, that'll be all for the other 2 weeks, because we are 50% finished.
Okay. Okay.
So next week, just be prepared. 2 more lessons for grammar, and then a reading and writing. Right?
Oh my gosh.
I think it's gonna be
OMG.
good.
OMG.
I think you're all gonna do good, man.
You were telling us we need to prepare a formal letter. It's part of the exam.
When will we do this, the formal letter?
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Okay, pretty good. Thursday.
Okay. Do you have any other questions?
How many questions are for speaking, teacher?
5.
Right. That's
Yes.
it. Depends the topic, or the same topic for everybody. Or?
I don't know, man. I'm not sure.
Okay.
It.
But we never practice in a speaker? Or
Yeah, we're gonna do some speaking drills too next week. Well, not next week, in the 4th week.
yeah, no, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Well, guys, it was nice to see you today, and I will see you on Monday. Right now, I'm going to send the things to you on WhatsApp. All right?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Have a nice weekend, everybody. Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you. See ya.
See ya.
Everybody.
Everybody.
See ya.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.